Game development caution by the creator of Fallout. This is going to be good.
Hi everyone, it's me, Tim, and today I want to do part 2 of game development caution. Because that video got a lot of views and a lot of comments, and I kind of want to talk about it.
We watched it. It was a great video, especially considering it came out slightly after the release of Starfield, and a lot of that criticism could be directly contributed to Starfield.
Yeah, I know the lighting's weird. It is just dark in Seattle all the time sometimes. Today's a dark day, so I just turned on the overhead light. See how this goes.
That's fine.
So, I did the video on game developer caution. Game development caution.
Oh no, his camera is just slightly out of context, huh?
And on the one hand, there was a lot of really good discussion about it, and that was great. I loved that there was discussion because that's kind of what the game development business needs. It needs people talking about things, talking about processes, talking about...
It needs people talking about good stuff, potentially good stuff, and how do we make stupid stuff better and actually playable,
problems.
I would say.
Just telling people this is what it's like so you can make an informed decision if this is the job you want to do. But there was a problem that ran through the comments on that video, and some of the places that picked up the video continued what I considered to be an issue with how that video was taken. And the problem was that they were focusing on individuals. People were...
There's probably a lot of problems that people don't understand with the first video, because he actually talked about business and being in a high position, you know, a decision-making position. And people fundamentally don't understand that because, you know, think about it. There's not a lot of managers compared to the people who work under those managers. So, inherently, not a lot of people are going to be able to understand the managerial position.
Listening to the stories I told and focusing on one of the individuals as the problem and not what the problem was I was trying to illustrate. I mean, I can give an example. There were a lot...
Oh, I know what he's... Yeah, I know. I understand what he's talking about. In the first part, nothing was pretty much just, hey, this individual is doing things wrong. But it's like, no, this is an overlying problem. Anyone who thinks that he was like pointing something out as an individual problem, no. None of the things he said were individual problems. It's just a general problem that exists.
A lot of people said I was the bad guy, that I was the obvious bad boss.
No.
That I wasn't listening to the people who were working for me.
I was surprised on actually what he said, because everything he said was that's good. Everything he said was good.
I wasn't accepting their estimates. I was yelling in my office. It's funny. I know I kind of said we were yelling. We were just having a discussion.
Yeah. I mentioned this there. The first thought was so good. Wow, I am not surprised people are fundamentally incapable of understanding what he says, honestly. I am not surprised. Because, again, the yelling part, if you have seen the first part. If you don't, it seems like you should probably go watch his first part, or, you know, my take on the first part. Because, yeah, everything that you would expect, well, I've expected people would not understand, they pretty much don't. Like the yelling part. It's normal. It's normal to yell when you're discussing things, and it's not even bad.
And it bothered me when I found out, oh, people were bothering. I'll shut the door. We'll go do it somewhere else. But the point of that was more of a, people don't want to talk about issues in detail like that. Most of them just want to be told what to do.
True.
That's kind of the point. I wasn't saying that these people are bad. I'm saying the process that they find themselves involved in is bad. A lot of people were like, oh, you should have just fired.
Needed a little bit of explanation there.
some of those people involved. They didn't want the whiteboard up, fire. Gave you bad estimates, fire them.
Oh.
That's totally missing the whole point of the video.
I did actually agree with that. There was one thing where it's like, dude, if it's so bad, firing is probably the easiest, honest solution here. What was it? I was kind of also surprised about the fact that someone is completely incapable of their job. Dude, that was the one. That he knows that a job can be done in a week, and then someone below his expertise, below everything, comes in and says, "Yeah, I need 5 fucking months for this to be done. It can't be done faster." And he's like, "Wait, I can do it in a day, and you're gonna need 4 months for this?" Honestly, at that point, it's easier to fire them, but the caveat was, I don't actually understand also this. If it's easy to find a replacement, you fire them. That's how pretty much everything works. If it's easy to find someone who can do it, you fire them. If it's not easy to find someone who can do it, you teach them. That is the thing. So, I was very surprised when he said this, and the guy didn't get fired, and he did not say that that also the guy who did not understand how to do it fast and properly did not get teached on how to do it fast and properly. Because one of those things should happen in a situation like that, which is kind of crazy.
Video. And I'm torn because I think when I'm talking about things, I do better when I give specific examples. It illustrates it and kind of roots it.
Yeah, but illustrating an example doesn't mean that people are going to understand what's the point. What's the actual point of the example
in reality? And these are real problems that happen. These are real things that happen. But the problem is, people, when they focus on the wrong thing, it makes me think that they're like a doctor who, rather than trying to find out the cause of your illness,
just call them idiots.
You're just being given pills to treat the symptoms. So it's like, oh, I've got this pain in my side. Here's a painkiller. That's not what I wanted. I want to know why I have a pain in my side. I don't want a painkiller. Although when I had the kidney stone, as soon as I found out it was kidney stone, I wanted all the painkillers they could give me. I was like, get science in the room. I need more painkillers. But similarly, saying, well, Tim, you're a horrible boss. No one will ever want to work with you. I agree. There's people who don't want to work with me. And probably some people on this channel who wouldn't want to work with me, and I wouldn't want to work with them.
If you have watched the first part and you don't want to work with him, you're blatantly just giving away the fact that you're incompetent. Blatantly, without excuse. You're giving away the fact that you're incompetent. And you know what's probably worst part about that? You probably think you're competent. That's the worst part about that. You probably actually think that you're worth shit. Well, you're definitely not.
A lot of people do. That's missing the point. There was a problem getting people involved in a way that I think is part of their job. That they should be thinking, I'm putting this feature in. Is this gonna connect right? Why are we even needed this? Nobody asked me why we needed that AI I suggested. It was needed because designers were blocked on testing combat. The suggestion I added, I thought was reasonable. 45 minutes of code connected in just 2 spots, 2 locations, through events. An event system that already existed. No.
By the way, this is what he's talking about is a general thing, okay? This is what people don't understand with examples. This is not just a thing that happens in the gaming industry, the gaming development sphere of things. This is a thing that happens everywhere, and it has this same exact one-for-one equivalence in pretty much all the other industries that require any kind of thought process, testing, or innovation, or whatever. But so don't think that this is just literally a game developer type of thing. No, this is overall. This is why I easily can agree with it, because I recognize it, okay? I have never worked in game development. I will never work in anything that requires computer knowledge. Until my last breath, I will unironically call modern day technology just witchcraft. But the principles of how things should work, why they should work in a business and work setting, are overall the same everywhere.
No unit tests. No, well, how would this be extended? This code was designed to be thrown out. It served a purpose. I could do a whole thing on rapid prototyping, and maybe I will, but rapid prototyping just isn't a thing in the industry anymore. And it was hard to get people to understand.
No idea what that is.
I'm just trying to unblock something here really quickly. You will still be scheduled to do the real AI when it's really going to go in a few more months. We just need the designers and level designers, especially who are making encounters, to be able to get a little better feel for how those encounters will go. But anyway.
You know what he essentially just, by the way, said? He just said game developers, especially level designers, should probably play their own game. Man, can I think of at least one game where we know for a fact that the level designers have never even tried to play their... Oh wait, it's Diablo 4 right there. Wow, who would have thought it's you? Wow, yeah, that's unexpected. And then you're wondering, why do Diablo 4 level dungeon designs suck dick so much? Oh, because they're made by someone who has never played the game. That's why. They're made pretty, but they are not functional. Functionality doesn't equal always prettiness.
Let's talk about a non-game example. Maybe if I illustrated this with a non-game example, it would make more sense. Let's say there was an intersection near your house.
Oh,
Two streets intersected. And there were always accidents there.
Oh, God.
Cars are always running into each other there. Now, a reasonable person might go, okay, are there trees or hedges or other things blocking view there? Maybe we need stop signs or a stoplight, or maybe we need to replace it with a roundabout. Those are reasonable discussions to the problem I just mentioned. People asking questions about what could be the cause of this, and here are some possible solutions. Instead, how I see people talk about it is, oh my goodness, they should ticket everybody who has an accident there, and if you have more than one accident, you just get your license removed. That'll fix it.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Why don't we just reduce the speed on those roads and all the nearby roads to like 10 miles per hour? Then there probably won't be accidents because people can stop in time. And even if there are, no one will get hurt. Or they go, there's accidents there and people are getting hurt a lot. We should build a hospital right on the corner. So then when people get hurt, we can take them right into that hospital. And it's like, all those suggestions, people think they're being reasonable and intelligent. And this is... I'm gonna fix this problem of
he's essentially that you can attribute almost all of this to the Bethesda and Starfield design, honestly, and in some cases Diablo 4 design. For example, one example of these stupid ideas is Starfield and shop capacity. Okay, so what happens? You have 200k worth of loot that you need to sell to the shop, but the shop only has 5k credits. Well, you need to fix that now, right? Because that's stupid, that's boring, that's bad, right? Well, how does Bethesda fix that? Well, they add a wait timer. They add a thing that can allow you to sit and wait for an X amount of time, and then the shop restocks. But instead of that being, 1 hour, they make it 2 days, so it takes a lot of real life time for those 24 hours to pass. And then the shop gets restocked for another 5k credits. And then you need to do it again. And at the end, you have waited 48 hours. How many times? 40 times, okay? What is 40 times 48? Well, a lot, considering 1 hour is like no, it's a little bit less than 1 second. So, okay, let's say half of that. Yeah, you're essentially spending roughly 25 minutes of your real time just to sell 200k worth of goods to a shop, essentially. I think. If my how long is 1 second of a 1 hour wait time correct? Probably more honestly than that. So, the obvious solution here would be just make the shop have infinite credits. That would be easier, but no, they implement something like this. Okay, and this is his point that he's making. People are finding solutions, but those solutions are blatantly autistic and stupid because better solutions exist. But the moment someone finds a solution for something, well, the problem's fixed because there's a solution, even though the solution is bad and a problem in and of itself.
Accidents at this intersection, but they're looking at the wrong thing. They're either punishing the people for having the accidents or making it so that the accidents still happen, but the side effects aren't as bad, either in damage or the accidents happen just as badly, but you've got something there to fix the people. It breaks my programmer brain that people think those are suggestions, reasonable suggestions to there's an intersection with a lot of accidents. And that's how I feel like a lot of people are responding to my stories. They're not thinking about what's causing it. They're looking at the symptoms and going, I can get rid of those symptoms.
Yep,
trivial.
That's stupid.
And to put it in another non-game development analogy, let me tell you how I think of this channel, this whole channel, every topic, every time I start and talk. This is what I'm thinking. I feel like I'm walking around a dark warehouse, and I've got a flashlight.
Okay.
And I'm pointing at things.
Are there naked women in the warehouse? I feel that's important.
Warehouse. And I'm going, oh, look there. That's
a naked woman.
See those boxes? Oh. I want people to see them. I want to be aware of what it is they're seeing.
A naked woman?
And then if it's an issue,
it's an issue.
They can have some ideas of how to fix it. Now, good suggestions would be, hey, I didn't get a good perspective on those boxes. Can you stand in a different place and
can a box be a woman?
Perfectly reasonable answer. Or, hey, I have some ideas of where you should go in the warehouse. Some places that need the light shown. So we can talk about that thing. Perfectly reasonable suggestions.
I kind of get what he's saying, but I feel that this is a complicated way of saying it.
Instead.
But then again, I honestly think if people didn't understand the first part and that's their outcome of the situation, that's their conclusion, I don't really think those people can be taught higher than that, honestly. That they're not, because it's true. It's like some people can just not be taught to do basic stuff correctly. So and this is slightly complicated in basic stuff, right? So obviously a bunch of people are not going to be able to even understand this at all.
I get comments like, well, I get the, oh, you're stupid. I get that worded in many different ways. Or, buy a bigger flashlight, you loser, which I don't get why anybody would say that. Or, we'll just turn off the flashlight.
Even though that, I think the buy a bigger flashlight loser is in this case the firing part.
Now there's no problems anymore. People have basically suggested things of rather than fixing the problem, they're making the problem not visible anymore. And then some people even go, well, you should just leave the warehouse. You should go to the indie warehouse next door. We don't have those problems. And I'm like, okay, but can you not see that there's still a big warehouse with people bumping around in the dark and having problems? Going to the new warehouse doesn't fix the old warehouse. I understand some of you are like, look, I didn't build this warehouse. I don't know how to fix the warehouse problems. I'm going to go over to the indie warehouse.
That's smart. That's true. But no one does that.
I spent the last 40 years in that warehouse. I want to try to help fix some of these things. Or, even better, point out them so you guys can fix them. So, in a sense, I kind of want the issues discussed so that people know what the issues are and agree what the issues are and then try to fix them. And that's the whole point of this, kind of. I want, in addition to me wanting you guys to go and make great games for me to play, which is...
Now, admittedly, I will say this. The guy's kind of nice and sweet about this, but... I do believe that the people who said just fire blindly probably don't understand the situation. But firing truly is one of the best things ever. This usually happens when I don't know. This happens pretty much in a lot of places. Okay, probably you have heard of a story similar-ish, at least to this, right? There's some kind of a big corporation, organization, business, and they have like a department. That department is not performing as well as the board of directors, CEO, or owner would want. What do? Well, they change the head of the department. And the most competent people, usually what they do is they take everyone for, they don't really do that much in like a week or something. They start things slowly, but a lot of the times they actually check out the people working there. Because most likely, if the old boss was shit, chances are the old boss is keeping around a lot of people who just look as good and are not good, actually. So when someone competent comes over, they will usually fire and switch out a lot of the people. That usually does happen, and that is necessary, and that is good. And then after a couple of months, guess what? The department's doing good. I have seen that multiple times. You probably have also seen or heard about something like that. Oh, a new boss came over and fired. Yeah, you got fired because you're trash, dude. Let's be real. That's why you got fired. Okay? And usually that's how it happens. But admittedly, there are anecdotes. Obviously, also someone comes over, they think they're a hotshot, but they aren't, and then they make it worse. Yeah, exceptions happen, but that's typically not how the world functions.
It's a totally selfish reason. But I consider this channel a place for learning about game development topics and discussing them. And some topics include problems that exist in the game industry.
That's nice.
What I'm hoping is that people will focus more on treating the causes of those problems and a lot less on just ameliorating the symptoms of those problems. And as I said in another video about, hey, we've all got to agree that there is a problem and what's the cause of the problem and then the solution of the problem, that's kind of what I'm saying here. I see a lot of discussion about game development caution. I don't see a lot of suggestions on how to get rid of it. I see a lot of people saying, I don't think it's a problem, or they're being this way because of fear of their job or fear of speaking out. Okay, if that's the root cause of this, how do we fix that? And I don't think we fix that by firing people. Because once you start going down that road, you end up with a lot of very quiet people who never want to rock the boat. Again.
Well, wait, he's actually correct. But this is implying you're fighting not based on merit, kinda. That's kind of implication. The last time I worked and there was a mass firing, I was there sitting smiling because I knew that I am absolutely safe and I'm gonna probably get a raise just so I stay in case. Guess what? That happened. Why? And I knew, by the way, exactly who's gonna get fired because they're shit. Guess what? They got fired. I don't know. He's kind of not talking about merit-based fighting, which is kind of a little bit of a part for me, but that's fine.
I still see.
Again, in general, even if I disagree, this guy still knows what he's talking about, and he really wants to talk about a specific thing. So
game development caution as being a problem. I don't see it being solved with some of the solutions people are saying. In fact, most of those ignore the cause and are just going after symptoms. I think in the future, let's look more at causes, and that's kind of what this video is about.
That's
anyway,
it.
Thank you.
No outro screen, dude. Timothy Kane, by the way. Oh, you can't see. There we go. Timothy McTimmy Kane. What a giga chat. Anyway, this was Quizzer Said saying thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye bye.